Welcome back to ARK, where we're gonna kill another boss with sloths because fun, I guess.
Well, we're gonna kill the same boss. We're just seeing if we can do it
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a different build.
exactly. He said it better than I did. Why is he not the YouTuber?
I mean, I could be. You've suggested it. Also, I just caught one of yours about to starve to death.
Oh. Yeah, I wonder if that's what just happened. Maybe some of them are starving.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. This one was down to almost 300 health when I
Okay.
just caught it and threw food in its inventory. It's very fucking bloodied. It was really clear which one was about to bite it.
Got it. Yeah, when they hatch, I only give them 5 food apiece in their inventories. And...
Dear God, no fucking wonder they're all dying on you.
Well, you know what? Releasing them to like live their lives is more than the typical ARC player gives them. I watched a GIF of somebody lead 10,000 stegos into a volcano. I've seen how people play this game.
I mean, that's just the trope of video game cruelty potential in a nutshell.
No, the whole thing was like he fucked his breeding line up, and so he just had to dispose of the entire line. The entire lineage marched it into a volcano.
Fair enough.
Okay, Rex is way over there.
Okay, which obelisk was this?
Green obelisk.
Which is the one to the north?
No.
Colors. That looks green.
It's southeast.
Am I dim? What colors to the north?
To the actual north of us is blue, but that's really northeast or northwest, like super northwest, insanely northwest. Like I
Wait
don't
a
even know.
second.
If
Wait
green
a
is
second. Wait a second. Wait a second. I think I'm just getting tricked by my map.
Oh, wait. Green is due south.
Okay. No, yeah, I got tricked by my arrow, I guess, and my facing. No, it is green I was looking at. I was just something was weird.
Just being goofy.
I'm just done. Don't mind me. In other news, I just published another scientific paper, so you know, can't read a map. Publishes an article. It's whatever.
I
Oh,
never really
actually-
thought of. Sorry, Garrett.
No, I was just say perfect timing because my Megatherium popped. Go ahead.
I never really thought about Leia's being the sister as superfluous, but you're kind of right.
It is, yeah. This is what we're talking about between episodes for the reference. Yeah, Leia being Luke's sister is just totally J.J. Abrams style pointless drama added in there. And it just makes everything that came before a little weird and has no consequence to anything, especially in light of the sequel trilogy, where she uses some force powers and Last Jedi, and everybody hates that, and so they're just like, well, then I guess she died.
I mean, especially in light of the Empire Strikes Back kiss. Especially that.
Yeah, that one was definitely a little more than the.
It's probably the most overplayed joke in Star Wars, I think.
Also Yoda's whole line about no, there is another. It's like, just gonna
Mystery boxing a little bit.
you're just gonna grab Leia and Luke is not that important. Just either one will do. Fuck it. Who cares? And why does Yoda have to tell that to Obi-Wan when they were like both there for the birth?
I mean, because in that context, then that's
His nemesis
Obi-Wan
worked out at that
overlooking.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's overlooking how viable she would be as another option.
That's the explanation for what is just another oversight in writing.
Completely wrong.
Okay. Oh, they're all nice and lined up. Look at this.
No, he is wrong. Star Wars is perfect. Shut the fuck up, Jesse.
You were wrong. Boobs are great.
Star Wars, I will always say this, Star Wars is better as a gaming franchise than it is as a movie franchise.
It's better in a lot of other franchises than it is as a movie franchise.
KOTOR gang represent! Woo!
Yep. Did you see that that got shelved?
What, the remake?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I am.
That's
I'm a
kind of
bit
fine
bummed.
on my part.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
no,
see the
I've
need for a
heard that.
remake.
I've heard that company's not great, so I get it, but I was still excited. I'd love to replay those, or play the first one at least.
Plus,
I
it's
mean, you
EA
can just
make-
play it on
still
Steam.
producing it, so
Yeah, but I like the graphical updates. It's
Oh,
nice. I
you're
like
one
the
of
things to look.
those gamers.
I like my things to look
Ray tracing, ray
grieving.
tracing.
The thing that it possibly made me more excited about it, the only thing really that made me
400
excited about is
FPS.
the possibility of it reviving KOTOR as its own franchise and like getting
Yes.
more stuff for it.
I would be curious what the combat would have been like.
Well, I almost assuredly just be typical action RPG fodder. I'm sure. I fully expected them to drop the D&D mechanics.
No,
That would have been.
that would have been very
Right.
upsetting.
Yeah, I agree. But it's just not modern. And now everything's got to be slick. It can't be that clunky turn-based, pseudo-turn-based combat. It
Yeah,
just-
it's gotta be quick and now.
Yeah, fucking nobody's gonna bankroll
Keep
that
going.
kind of stuff. They expect big flashy combat.
Okay. Well, we
With
need
multiplayer potential.
Yeah.
artifacts actually, so we might be jumping the gun a little bit here.
Oh.
I can just go grab my statues.
Well,
I
we
don't
had.
need-
Did we have like 2 of everything? So.
Let me go check.
There's-
See if Sparkle has any spare base ones.
There's whatever I've been hoarding probably too, unless we used mine for the first attempt.
That might have been yours. Somebody at the obelisk?
Yeah, I'm at the.
Can you go in there and look at Gamma Broodmother and see what artifacts it needs?
How do I do? Generate Broodmother Gamma Portal, artifact of the Clever Hunter and Massive. Clever Hunter
Okay.
Massive.
Okay, never mind. We have that at Sparkles, so I'm just gonna grab those. Perfect. I was actually thinking about making another run here, but we don't need that. While you're there, you mind taking one of the Rexes out and getting a bunch of meat,
Sure.
since you're there before us?
Let's see here. Now that it's foggy, Eric's favorite weather.
Wasn't even gonna say it, but
Goes without saying.
I imagine it does.
I don't remember how good the other maps. I want to say it's a lot more reasonable, so you might enjoy Fjordur, especially on that level alone. Because I think the general consensus of players is fog is terrible, but it's really common on the island, so almost all the DLC maps reduce the shit out of its frequency.
Oh, talking about KOTOR, did you know that there was a Switch release for KOTOR 2 with added content?
I did know that actually.
I didn't know that until I heard about the cancellation of the all of which is a bummer.
Supposed to be pretty well done. I'm not sure if it's just the same stuff that was in the cut content mods, like possibly literally just the cut content mods added to the game, or
I
it's,
believe it is. I don't think
Okay.
it's anything super new.
it's not like properly restored. It's like just the mod itself, which is
I don't know about that.
essentially the same thing. Okay.
It might have some actual production shine on it, but
So like the HK factory and things
I
like
can't
that.
imagine much.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if the droid fact planet's in there, like M166 or whatever, because I've heard some people really hate that. I don't remember if I played that. I played the restored content before, but there's 2 versions, so I don't know if I played the full droid planet experience or not. I should replay that, both of those games, for the channel or something.
Could be good.
Yeah, they're on the list. I don't know. Nobody watches the main channel, so whatever. I can do whatever I want.
That's one way to put it, yeah. I'm just going in with my ghillie. I'm not even gonna grab my boss armor for this one. There's no mechanics that can dismount you, so basically you have to get dismounted by
I actually got some good blueprints from the last drop I got or grabbed.
Nice.
journeyman Quetzalcoatl and long neck rifle blueprints.
That
It's
is,
like the
holy
first
shit.
long neck
Quetzal.
rifle blueprint I've seen. So
I've got a
it's cool.
couple of them, I think.
Okay.
Wait, can I field repair this shit right now?
We can get a little expensive on metal, not too bad.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, fucking A. I should probably grab some water before we start this up. You're out in the field grabbing meat, I assume?
Yep. And I ate a duck or two in the process, so I actually think I can squeeze in some repairs I wasn't planning on, which is nice.
Should I grab anything?
Nope, just armor mostly, with some ghillie in there, ideally for the, because it is warm in that arena. But speaking of grabbing meat, boy did I have a weekend,
Yes.
So you say.
right? Well, it was in college again. It felt like, honestly, I mean, besides the pontoons and stuff, but the bar hopping and all that. But it turned into, so we're at this. This is where I grew up in Hayward here. Like every summer, that's where it was all the goddamn time. And the campground we always go to had up the peninsula a kind of a fancier campground, I guess you would say. Like, instead of, like, our campground was all campers, parked campers and tent spots and stuff like that. So not exactly roughing it either, but, you know, a little like that. What is the one up the street from, or up the river, goddamn, up the peninsula, up the road, was all cabins. So, like, people not even attempting to pretend that they're roughing it, you know? Whereas campers are at least pretending a little bit, because you don't have all your amenities, depending on the campers. They have gotten really fucking fancy in the years I've been gone, though. Because it's been 10 years since I was up there. But anyway, we ended up at the fancy resort, because apparently in the 10 years that I've been gone, everybody else that has continued camping up there have come to enjoy it, because they'll do live music and stuff like that occasionally. So they'll go up there. But while we're there, this very, very tattooed woman is working behind the bar. And, like, my first interaction with her was going up and, because I've dropped caffeine and most soda from my intake, I can't just do a Jack and Coke like I normally would when I go out to drink.
Right.
So I just go to bars and I order water and a shot of Jack Daniels. You know, kind of balance out the hydration with the dehydration. But anyway, order that, and I was just like, yeah, shot of Jack. And she's like, and 5 pull tabs. It's like, no, just a shot of Jack. Thank you, though. She's like, and 5 pull tabs. I'm like, no, not a gambler. I'm sorry. I'm a boring man. I'm not. I was gonna throw out something about my only gambling is cracking packs, but I don't think she'd get the reference. Well, so that was like my introduction to this person. And while I'm up there, and of note, like almost everybody in our group are parents with families and kids that are pretty old, not pretty old, but like some of them are getting into their early teens kind of thing. Like I said, I've been going a long time from this group of friends. And, but there's one other guy who is also single, and for what reason I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe he's like me, he's had the long-term relationship that fell apart or something. Who knows? Doesn't matter. But unlike me, he is not dad-bodded. He actually is taking care of himself and is, you know, reasonably attractive and isn't bald. All kinds of other good things.
Sure.
But okay, so tattooed ladies clearly has a very forward and aggressive personality.
Right on.
And after the fancy bar closes at midnight, because of course they fucking bar close at midnight. Everyone goes back to our resort. But in the few hours that we've been at this one, because we were there from like 9 to 12, like if this girl was that aggressive with me and with my like turning down, because clearly, I mean, I'm not like a very forward individual, obviously. But if she was that aggressive, like, that was the easiest opening like ever. Like I could have turned that into a conversation, no problem. Like you always assume, yes, if it's a bartender, they're being very sociable for tips, kind of
Their
thing.
job, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we come to find out that that was the daughter of the owner.
Oh, okay.
Like she is not hurting. They're not hurting for money. She isn't working. She's probably working voluntarily, to be honest, like to help her mom out because her mom was bartending too that night, and is the owner of the fucking bar. So anyway, lo and behold, this girl, some of her friends, and a few other people from that one actually follow us to our dive bar at resort. And upon getting there, tattooed girl now is all over my our other buddy, the only only other single guy in our group. And it was funny because me and one of his closest friends, this guy named Alphonse, which I constantly wanted to make a Full Metal Alchemist reference, but I couldn't because they're all Hicks. And it's like
Oh.
I'm hanging out with a guy named Alphonse and I can't make any fucking anime jokes. This is torture.
You could just make them. I always love making jokes that nobody gets because they look at me like I'm a fucking idiot, and it's funny.
Yeah, but I'm more
Well,
worried
it's you
about.
who are the idiots.
Can I borrow that Rex egg, which I assume you probably picked up?
Yeah, you want it?
I want to go experiment with a couple of Trodons stuck on a rock.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not gonna hatch because it's gonna be too hot.
Oh,
It's on
it
the
has to
it's on my
right.
truck.
They have to eat the hatchling itself. Right.
Yep.
Never mind. There's a couple of
But
Trodons stuck in a rock, which might be interesting, like a little
we
rock
can
pit.
we can still use that. That's still a very big option.
I wonder if they'll do better in like a natural environment thing.
There's a real chance of that, yes. Okay, so most of this meat is gonna go on the pig, and whatever's left over, we can of course bring back to the troughs.
Mhm.
Oh, I can do this easier. What am I doing? But anyway, so like it even became a wager of because while this guy, like I said, is also an available bachelor, he is similar to me in that he is a meeker person. Like he is not like this very very forward woman who had literally climbed on his lap a couple of times at the bar after we went to our dive bar. Like he wanted to run away a couple of times, and me and his one of his buddies and Alphonse were like wagering like every time he tries to run away, I'm like, I don't think she'll follow him, and he's like, oh, she'll chase him. Like I don't know, like I don't know, we'll see. And sure enough, she chased him. Like this woman had picked her target and was going for it. So instead of wingmanning him, it turned into more of like trying to get him to not run away from this woman who was clearly showing interest. And that went very well, like it was college stuff. Like clearly this guy was set up to have a nice night, and but that wasn't the weird part. The weird part was we found out like why she was up here from like Iowa, like besides her family being here, but she was up here with a friend of hers who's gonna get married this fall. And so we're all going at the bar close finally. Almost everybody in our entire group besides me and him and this girl and like her friend, a few other random people in the bar, have cleared out. And as we go to leave, her friend is literally fucking falling down. Like we walk out the door, they see like some campfire off to the side, they go to walk over, she hits the grass, and like, oh crap. Like so this turns into where now it's not just wingmanning, now we got to keep an eye on her. But her friend, being as forward as she was, similar to the pull tab incident from the beginning of the night, after like we get it like just not even outside the parking lot because we have to walk down a whole peninsula on this lake to get back to our various places. She pulls me aside and she's like, basically, you need to take care of her like for 10 minutes. Just keep an eye on her for 10 minutes.
Sure.
It was awesome though that when I told him this the next day, because a tattooed lady like pulled me aside and like sternly whispered this to me, because like I think her setup for it was saying something like, oh, isn't my friend so great and she's wonderful and she's so pretty, and I'm like, oh, like yeah she is. I mean, she said she's gonna get married, so I mean I'm not saying this in any sort of way. And she's like, no, you do mean it in that sort of way, you listen to me. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I get it, I gotta keep her occupied, gotcha. So like we're walking back, and now to keep her from falling down, she's slung over my shoulder, and I'm she's like, oh, no, I'm not sure about getting married. I'm like, oh, no, it's great. You just have jitters and cold feet. It happens to everybody. It's wonderful. You'll have a great time, and all your friends and family will be there, and it's great and awesome. And you're awesome. Sure, your fiance is awesome. Everything's great. Everything's fine and dandy. As the other, as our two friends are slowly, as I catch out of occasional backward glances, slowly fading behind us more and more. Like, so they're okay. I'm like, I gotcha. It's like, all right, just gotta keep her occupied for 10 minutes, and they can have their fun. Blah blah blah. And sure enough, we get to the top of the peninsula, top of the hill, where we're headed, and I have completely lost track of them behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm continuing just to try to be supportive and nice to this lady and all that stuff, and just make sure she's not worried about her friend who has vanished into the night, kind of thing. And she goes from just hanging over my shoulder all of a sudden she's directly in front of me, and now she is all over me,
Oh no.
and I am freaking the fuck out. I am like, okay, no, this is not happening. No, you have fiance, you're about to get married. No. She's like her hands are everywhere, and I am just trying. It's a bad rom-com sitcom kind of thing where I don't know what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
There is no. This lady is not taking no for an answer right
This is
now.
how Garrett will be telling his kids how he met their mother in 20
Eh,
years.
no, because I I'm not gonna pretend that my willpower didn't like waver for a moment here and there, but managed to not do anything.
Yeah, no.
Like I am not a homewrecker. I am not cool with that.
Well, it's also
That
just
is
a problem if she's that drunk to like
also
bomb out of
yes.
a wedding the next day or
Well,
whatever.
see, I found various things out the next day that make a lot more sense,
Ah,
and it's not the next day. This wasn't much like a
oh,
bachelor
okay.
party. She's just getting married sometime this fall.
Got it.
No, it's not
Sounded
literally
more
that.
imminently than that.
No, but I will throw out there. So she finally gets the hint that I'm not going for this, and it's like she basically had. See, it seemed like, and rather than post nut clarity, she had pre nut clarity or something. Because
Sure.
all of a sudden, and here's where I'm saying like, all of a sudden she can walk fine. She is not falling down at all. She is, and she is walking away from me and like giving me short answers and stuff, and like oh, I think she feels bad that I rejected her, kind of thing, or something. Like I continue what I was charged with doing though. Like I walk with her to the rest of the place where they need to get to, whatever cabin they were staying in. I don't remember. I was drunk too. Like I have brief glimpses of all this, and there's more to that part too in a moment. But but turns out she's locked out.
Oh no.
So I'm like what we want to do here? And she's like, I don't know, don't care. I don't fuck. Like, well, and she's like messaging her friend and stuff, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're occupied. I don't know what to do, and I don't know how much time has actually passed. So, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm like, are you good here? Like, she's sitting on the porch. She's like, yeah, fine, whatever. It's like, okay, sorry. I'm like, wasn't not about that life. I'm sorry. And so I just go to head back, and I'm like, well, they'll finish up, and they'll eventually. Her friend will check her phone and see the messages and go, it'll be fine. It's a campsite. It's out in the middle of nowhere. So I mean, like I said, this was the fancy resort, so and this was closing in on 3 o'clock at this point. But on my way back, I'm just walking. Hold on, I need a drink of water. I've been talking too goddamn much. I am walking past some parked cars near a cabin in the darkness there, and and it's not unheard of for like raccoons and all kinds of various things to tear through that area and that campground. This happens a lot. I hear a noise, and I kind of like maybe not jump, but like shuffle my feet enough
Mm-hmm.
and make a noise and look over, and I see two people doing their best Bloodhound Gang bad touch impression in the darkness, and I must have been like, oh fuck, or oh shit, or something. So they heard me, and of course, it's her tattooed chick just starts fucking laughing. Like he's like panicking and like trying to pull himself together, and I'm like, oh shit, no, I'm sorry, just
I'm
you
not
might
here. Just
just
continue.
ignore me, ignore. I'm like, I didn't. I'm moving on. I'm going. I'm sorry. And then I'm like, oh, but I knew her name at this point, but the chick, I'm like, oh, you might want to check your messages at some point. Just saying, eventually check them. But you guys have a good night. I'll see you later. Bye. And I move on down the fucking road. But that, and then but then the nostalgia kicks in because I haven't been there in 10 years, and I find myself at the boat landing way up back by my resort, and went and sat down by it. It was cool, like just stare at the stars because you have a good view of all that stuff. And however, I went out on the dock by the boat landing, and definitely all of a sudden woke up again at 3:30 in the morning. So fell asleep for a good 20 minutes, half hour there.
Nice.
Just on a dock next to a boat landing, feeding the mosquitoes, as my grandpa would say. But here, and then other thing, I woke up with kind of like a startle because like I must have shifted a little bit, and I knocked over my can of Bush Light, and it started draining into the water, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm wasting my beer, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. It wasn't till, and I'm pretty sure I ended up drinking the rest of the beer and then throwing it in one of the recycling containers they have all around the campground at various corners and stuff. Then the next day I was thinking, like, I did not leave that bar with a can of Bush Light. I did not get a can of Bush Light from anybody during my walk. I don't know where that can of beer came from, and I just fucking drank it.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I wasn't exactly
okay.
yeah.
Everybody's getting some mysterious fluids that night, huh?
Right. Yeah, that's all I can think is like, God, I'm gonna end up getting sick or something because I drank a fucking
Yeah.
beer that was sitting on a dock in the middle of the goddamn night and just.
You and your buddy both pick up some STDs. You from random beer.
Right.
Did it taste like beer at least?
Oh no, it was definitely a beer. Like it wasn't like some
Okay.
spit can or anything.
You lucked out.
Yeah, no.
Some pervert didn't leave you as
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I just drink a piss bottle.
or any other kind of fluid.
So yeah, welcome everybody to our podcast of college like exploits. Sorry, I got really into telling that story. Figured a boss fight wasn't.
Nothing like that ever during college. Not in any of my 12 years of college or whatever the fuck it's been.
I mean, for me, it was close to the college thing because my night was technically spent doing more wingmanning than actually succeeding at anything myself. So that tracks for me.
You coulda.
I coulda, but I'm just ain't about that life.
I don't know if I've ever had that much of an opportunity to wingman anybody.
Too much of a goody-goody, Garrett.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I did once.
There was another moment like in the middle of the time at the bar though.
Yeah.
Let's say because when I ended up single at the beginning of 2020, when life didn't look like it was going to go insane for a couple years, I was going to the gym with I don't know if he's been on this anything, Dick Wolfer. I mean Austin. I don't know if you guys.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But me and him were going to the gym, and he's like, "All right, man. You're single. You get out there again. We'll go to the gym. All will be good." And he's like, "And here's a little gift to you." And he hands me a fucking 3-pack of condoms. I'm like,
Wow.
this isn't gonna get used. Let's be honest, man. But I kept him in my car just out of like precautionary. You never
Yeah.
fucking know. Life is weird. But while we were at the dive bar that I stay at, or where our campsite's at, I was talking with my buddy who had the tattoo chick all over him all night, and I'm like, "Do you have any protection?" He's like, "No, man, I wasn't I got you covered." And I run down to my car because we're at our campground now, and grab those, and he's on vacation. He's not a zoologist. I can't remember what he fucking does. Let's put it this way though. He was in Alaska for 4 months doing biological studies on the Kodiak bears up there.
Cool.
Like he he is scientifically, done pretty good for himself too. And but he said he had a good month or something. So and he was buying rounds for our group on pretty good occasion. I don't know if I paid for more than a couple of my own goddamn shots or drinks this weekend because everybody was so happy to see me again after 10 years. So I was getting hooked up on beverages. And he had bought me several drinks, and I kept trying to pay it forward, and he wouldn't have it. I think the only thing I managed to get for him was a round of Jaeger bombs for me, him, tattooed lady, and her friend. And that was because they had also, like, I kept having shots, like, sent down the bar to me from, like, it meant, oh no. Are you serious? Fucking snake.
I fed the Rex as a snake.
Get up here.
I brought it.
God, why?
I was just curious to see what would happen.
Oh. Well, they didn't. Luckily, they killed it so fast. It didn't
Didn't hurt anything.
It didn't. Like I was worried. Like, can you imagine trying to dig all these Rexes out from a big goddamn circle?
It would have been my responsibility.
Well, let's try and get a head
for
count
sure.
on these ground sloths. But yeah, but yeah, because he was buying me and everybody in the group drinks all night at one point. So I came up with an idea when I went to grab that pack of condoms for him. I took a $5 bill out of my wallet and I wrapped it around all the condoms. And I went to him like, hey, here's for all those drinks. And his drunk ass is like, no money for the drinks. I'm like, man, take this for the drinks. Just take it. He's like, no. And I'm almost getting into a fight with him over it. And I keep like trying to like turn the 5 sideways so you can see all the silver inside it.
You put in your palm, you palm it, and then you give him a handshake. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I was trying, but
No,
that's what I mean.
you unwrap the condom and you put it on for him. You just slip it right into his face.
You roll it on. You roll it on in front of him.
Exactly.
You turn him around.
Just give him a shove.
This is for you.
I got you, bro. Hold still.
But yeah,
Sorry, lady.
I mean, going by
Sorry,
her
everybody.
personality, I think she would have been into that. I don't know. Although, admittedly, that was one of the problems that with her friend when she tried to jump me was like it was right under a fucking street light.
Just
I'm like, I'm like, I'm not into exhibitionism. I'm not into this either.
The other thing you do is you just walk up to your friend and you like fake a cough and just spray condoms everywhere and just walk away.
Like, again, I think that only would have encouraged that lady.
Exactly.
She was forward, like she, as maybe a poor taste joke, but like, where has her friend eventually took no for an answer? I don't think she would have took no from an answer from my friend. She was bound and determined.
Predator.
Did they
Okay,
know
I
each
mean,
other?
Hunter.
Did they know each other at all?
Nope. We all of us
wow.
just met that night.
Yep.
Well, except for me and him, I realized he had came up to, because he was from a little town north of there, where his buddy who married into this friend group was from.
Mhm.
And me and him, I found pictures of us on Facebook in one of the albums from this weekend, because we always just called it Kids Weekend. Because it used to be all our parents stayed there, but we grew up there, and eventually we all become of age. And okay, we need more than the pigs, though. Sorry. What are you going after now, Jesse?
I don't know. I'm just seeing what I can pick up.
Wait, where's the pig? Okay, there it is. Okay, we got bacon bits.
I cannot pick up a Triceratops.
Nope.
Can I grab a Dimorphodon out of midair?
No, you cannot grab any flyers.
Weak. Yeah, the only wingman thing I can think of is one time I was at a bar with a guy and a lady walks by and I just turned to her and said, "Hey, have you met my friend here?"
Yeah.
And he looked at me with horror in his eyes. And then
Was this guy Eric?
How you do it?
No, it was a guy down here in Iowa,
Oh, okay.
another grad student. And she sat there and talked with us for like 15 minutes at the bar. It's like, I'm good at this. Look at me, wingman.
I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
What have I been so afraid of?
Just
Right?
need some stooge to embarrass, and then we can talk to girls.
you just need the opening. That's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
I was telling my buddy because me and him were bullshitting about like biology and stuff because that was one of the big moments is he's trying to dummy down. He's like, oh no, I was up in Alaska for 4 months studying this a subspecies of brown bear, and I'm like, oh yeah, Kodiaks. He's like, his eyes light up. He's like, you know what Kodiaks are? I'm like, yeah, I fucking know what Jesus. Like I might hate mammals, but I don't hate them that much. Kodiak bears are a cool little thing because they're like the reverse of island pygmyism, you know.
Right.
They're a species that got in someplace and diverged for 10,000 years or so off of ideal circumstances and didn't get tiny. They got fucking bigger. Like, you don't see that anywhere, you know? Or, I mean, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, it's the less common option. It happens.
But no, so that was like the previous night where me and him bonded over stuff like that, where it's like, oh, hey, hi, I'm not an idiot. But no, I get that because, oh my god. For another bit of context here, like I grew up with all these people up there. They're my friends. I've like knew them before kindergarten kind of thing, and knew them well after college years kind of thing. But I was about to go up there, and I have like one of my favorite shirts that I own right now is the Jay and Silent Bob Dogma one that says a woman's body is her own fucking business. You know, and I'm like I was gonna take that because it's one of my favorite shirts, and I'm like no, like I know a couple of them are Catholic and things like that, and I don't need to be causing a problem.
More of a reason you should.
Yeah, no, as it turns out, because I walk in there, and the first one of my buddies I run into when I finally meet up with the group on Friday night is wearing a "Fuck Your Feelings" 2020 shirt.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, ah, nope, I should, you know, this is how we're gonna roll. I should have worn mine. It's like
Usually the issue is the right people are too worried about offending other people, pushing their views on them.
right.
Whereas they're perfectly okay with it.
Right, exactly, and that's all the more reason. Like, you know what? If I go out for kids' weekend, or and that's what I was gonna say.
Have you seen the trucks around here?
No,
Yeah.
I know. Why do you think that is one of my favorite shirts for reasons like
fucking
that?
bulldozers everywhere.
I hadn't heard that term before. I like it.
What term did you say?
Brodozer.
Brodozer. Excellent.
Yeah. Those elevated trucks. With
Frequently written by Bro Sidens.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I just deposit this guy up here on a ledge, you think? Does this work?
What'd you catch?
This is your home now, Mr. Dilophosaurus. You live up here on the monument.
Oh, okay. Alright, what do we got for a head count here? That's what we need now.
Oh, apparently this is not a solid object. So there's probably Dilophosaur coming down to you in 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, if it's... Are you talking about the giant pillars above us?
Yeah.
It'll fall down into the pit. It won't come down to here. Oh no, you went to the obelisk, you mean?
Oh yeah, I went to the middle, I think.
Oh shit, like you're talking about the big thing straight ahead of us. Yeah, okay, yeah, that... It might get caught in there somewhere, I don't know. Never had issue with people fucking around with the mesh of the obelisk before.
It's totally transparent. You just fly through it. Or, not transparent. What would you call a... Incorporeal. It's completely incorporeal. You can fly straight through the whole thing. Am I actually moving? Am I stuck here?
We got 10 here, what do we got?
Am I stuck in... I think I'm stuck in the air.
2, 4, 6.
Garrett, I broke the game!
Looks like 11.
Are you out of stamina?
I don't know.
Is your bird... Does the lightning bolt empty?
Oh yeah, no, my bird is out of stamina, just flapping in the air.
Yeah, so it's gonna kick you off eventually. Hope you have your Sinnoh on.
Well, it's just like stuck in place.
Yeah, I know, because it's out of stamina, and it's like, I'm not going any further, fuck you. And eventually it's gonna kick you off. Do you have your Sinnoh?
Yeah, I do. I guess I'm just
Okay.
too high up for the bird to like come down and land like it normally would.
Right, that's... Again, that is the whole point of parachutes in... Well, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just sit here and wait for that to happen. It's like I hit an invisible wall in the air.
Basically, but it's trying to buck you off. It's telling you, hell no, we won't go.
I'm not convinced.
11 megas.
Okay. Then the 2 supports so we can have room for 7 Rexes. We might as well take some just to be safe. So I'll get some... I guess they don't really have many points to put in, but whatever. I'm just interested in seeing how this goes.
I'm still on this bird.
He's really being tolerant of you.
I think he's stuck.
Oh,
there it
and-
goes. You're right.
Yep.
It just takes a long time.
Yep. You get to basically be up there stuck contemplating your fate if you don't have a parachute or a Sinnoh. And usually what it is this is how I die. Because normally it's like you're just going to hit the ground and splat.
Right. It was just that was a weird experience because it really felt like hitting a random invisible wall in Skyrim or some shit. Being
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm fucking stuck now.
Like, yeah, that going to the ground thing is basically the game giving you a chance to survive.
Yeah.
Like, getting you as close to the ground or landing, and you just need to land when you've out of stammed.
It's just weird that
yeah.
when it happens when you're so high up, the bird just like freezes in place at an angle.
Yep.
Keeps flapping its wings like it's flying full speed, but just sits there midair, stuck.
Well, not full speed. Sprint animation flight is different than regular flight animation.
Maybe it wasn't full speed. It was still flapping though and not going anywhere, which
Yeah,
looked weird.
because
it was
it's treading water.
well, it was at a downward angle. That's why it was so weird.
Yeah.
It was like nose down, ass up, still just
that's-
flapping but hanging in space.
That's how you kill, if we didn't have Sinnohs, that's how you kill ants on your birds. On Argent specifically, because the ants will get above your hitbox and keep trying to attack you. So you will not have an angle on them, so you have to nose down your Argent and start swinging your talons.
Gotcha.
One more.
Yeah, we can do one more, and that should be... Although yeah, let's do one more. So, I'll run the pig. Who wants to run the Yudi this time?
Does it have any particular quirks? Like, I know it acts as like
You
a
hit-
buffer or whatever, but...
You spam C to use its buffer, but the thing is, the Yudi's a lot weaker than everything else going into this fight, so you have to make sure you're keeping out of combat, but still getting close enough to roar buff everybody.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Well, I can do that if somebody else wants to run the heals then.
I have not used any mounts that do anything but bite, so...
I'll run the UD since that seems like less less important. Well, the healing is the most important. The UD is the second most important.
Actually, to be honest, healing isn't the most important at this difficulty tier.
Okay.
Like, neither of these are super important at this difficulty tier. It's more a matter of bringing them in and keeping them alive.
Okay.
But, yeah, C is to do the Yodi Roar. And alt-click, I believe, is heals on the pig.
Alright, well, should I just take a Rex then, or let the Sloths do their own thing?
Yep, just take a Rex. The Sloths will all be on their own, and they will... I mean, I guess you can take a Sloth if you want. That's also okay. It's not a
It
problem.
doesn't matter.
Up to you.
I'm already on a Rex here.
Well, remember, you're gonna get kicked off when we get in there. But
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
Eric, now that you see it, like, there's that gauge that you have to build up, and then when you finally complete that gauge, then that's when they have the buff on them, if I remember right. Let me double check.
I am not sure what you're talking about.
Well, there's a big circle, you see that?
Right. Oh, okay.
Yep, the fuller that circle is, the more buff we're getting. And then finally you can max it out and it goes away, and then the full buff just runs for a while.
Okay. Alright.
So you're just balancing that, but it's more of like getting it on when you can. It doesn't have to be a constant thing that you need going. But alright.
I wasn't sure the circle's a gauge. I thought it was just kind of like these things are buffed now type of thing.
Right. It kind of leads into a cooldown where you don't have to be hitting it is the thing. But,
Right, okay.
But, oh, one of the other funny things, two things from the morning before I kick this off and get super distracted. Her friend, or the tattooed lady, was telling my buddy, and he relayed this to us the next day, that she is in the wedding, and she is under full impression that wedding is not happening. She doesn't think that there's any way in hell, and she apparently says her friend's kind of a huge bitch.
Great.
Which
Which,
you dodged a bullet then.
yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
I don't know.
in a way, like I had no. Yeah, that was never my intent and understanding. Oh, what I compared it to when I was drunk and on group message with Joe and those guys was like, you ever have one of those things when you're doing like a Mass Effect or a type RPG and you're too nice to one of your party members and you hit a relationship flag and you don't realize it? Like, I think that's basically what I did that night.
Okay.
Like, I was being way too nice to
Oh
that lady
shit,
and way
that was
too
the
supportive.
romance option. Fuck.
It's like, yeah. Now I've hit romance option and
I
fuck.
suppose, yeah.
We hit cutscene and I'm like, except for it was real life and I was able to back out of the cutscene.
Baby, I didn't mean it. I was just spamming dialogue options. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. I was spamming skip.
I was
cheat.
literally spamming the Paragon responses to everything.
Right, yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
for
exactly
sure.
what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just leveling accolades at him, like, oh, you're wonderful, and like her friend said, I'm like, oh, you're pretty and you're great and you have a great life in front of you and all everything's fine and wonderful and great and awesome. And apparently she took that in the very wrong way. It's like, apparently that's all I should have been doing to flirt my entire life, is just unwaveringly level praise upon someone, and that works. I don't think that I know.
I've never heard anybody say that before.
No, I know, but apparently when the lady is,
Depends.
and like I said, I'm a little suspicious now. Like if she was putting on a little bit of an act.
Probably just listening to her talk and stuff is more than anything.
Well, in normal situations,
so
yes.
Being nice. Yeah.
But it was like I said, like she went from, like I said, she fell down twice before we left our campground, and then after she got, after I turned her down, all of a sudden she was like, either she sobered up a lot, yeah. Like that's what I wonder is like, was she putting on a bit of an act back? Like the super bad thing, like, oh, I'm so drunk, I shouldn't have fooled around with that guy.
I think you made the right choice.
Oh, I know I made the right choice.
Especially if she was like playing you a little bit, like trying to be vulnerable.
Yeah. I think on a lot of levels. But then the last one funny thing was the next day, I went to my buddy and I'm like, dude, please tell me I didn't cockblock you because was not trying. He's like, no. He's like, after I ran into him, he's like, no, we picked back up. I'm like, oh, that's good. He's like, yeah, we picked back up where we left off about 10 times on the way back to the camper. I'm like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, it's like I knew she was into me, but I didn't realize she was that into me until that moment, or what was happening before I stumbled across them. Like, so I'm like, oh, well, good for you, man. And then I heard the other funny story was he lost his phone that night.
Oh.
And it's like, oh no, like he's like, he's like, he's like, me and her stopped so many places to fool around. Like, where the hell's, well, how am I gonna find it? Like, we were all drunk, but it turns out she had his phone.
That's one way to get him.
Yeah, exactly. No, he went to Walk of Shame up there, and like, I guess our whole campground was cheering for him as he walked up to the fancy campground to get his phone back from her. He said he found her, and it was not awkward at all. She gave him a big hug, like all is well, and it's, obviously they've exchanged information now. So hey, who knows? You joked about me saying the How I Met Your Mother story, but he might actually have
right.
that.
Well, I fucked your mother at a campground.
Yeah. I mean, I have two friends that literally have a backstory like that are married and have several children nowadays. They fucked in the car outside of a bar here in my hometown. And then that's story. Lo and behold, that guy was the person who I thought would be the only astrophysicist I knew in my life. Now he is a full-on Republican, Trump as fuck, religious nuts. Like, yep.
We don't want him. We don't want him no more.
No,
where did he go wrong?
That's a long story filled with sighs.
Okay.
But what I did tell my buddy when he was like, hey, when you get your phone back, have you checked your pictures? He's like, well, no, why? I'm like, because the way that girl was behaving, I wouldn't be surprised if she sent some presents home with you. If she had his phone the whole night after they, were done.
Holy shit, there's so many pictures of comic books in here. Entire issues. Oh my god.
I didn't, who knows? I don't know how alt of a chick she was. Besides,
Star
like
Wars.
full,
Oh, Star Wars.
like, and when I say tattoos, I mean like full chest, full sleeves down across the knuckles and back of the hand. Like she was a very alt lady.
Ain't crazy.
A little, maybe a little in crazy, yeah, just a bit. But all right, I think story time is over here. Should we go kill ourselves a spider?
Sure.
About time. Gosh.
Spooter time. I'm sorry, you could have told me. You could have pulled a Monty Python get on with it at any time.
No, no. Storytime episode is storytime episode.
I mean, as we've seen how long it took with the last boss fight, I expect this to also be more of a, like, we're in and out and done.
Yeah.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
50 minutes of build up for 5 minutes of action.
Yeah.
Just like the other night.
Oh yeah, because I don't remember if I mentioned that, but the one thing the guy said is when I relayed to him that when she pulled me aside and said to occupy her friend for 10 minutes, he's like, oh man, I'm glad she thought I could go for 10 minutes. Okay, let's try and dislodge everybody. Fuck. Oh no, we have our Sinnohs.
Oh fuck, you're right. God damn it.
That's okay, it's okay. All it means is we might not have brought a couple of Rexes or Sloths. It's alright, it's alright.
Ah, turn, you bastard.
And hey, the Sinnohs will help with the ads, actually. There's something to be said with that.
Chomp, 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 chomp.
How are they doing? Oh yeah, they're doing good. So far, great. Let's go heal the other side a little bit. Although I will say, with the Rexes in there, it looks like the Sloths are having some trouble getting in there and getting damage on them. Not all of the Sloths, but some of them. This is something I was seeing a little bit of, that it's good to have different whistle groups for the Sloths. And you whistle 2 different groups to different size and do a nice little pincher maneuver on them.
Oh, one of them's getting some work done.
Yep, going to the other side, doing a little more healing on the side. The ambulance is going to the other side. And we almost got it. Not even a couple minutes and down. Sloth got the kill, literally. I seen the pop-up saying Sloth killed the broodmother.
Congratulations, Sloth.
Yep. Somebody didn't appreciate their didn't appreciate their namesake. I'm like, I'll show those motherfuckers who's the deadly sin. Yep. Wasn't greed or well, envy's gonna start living up to. They didn't get the kill.
The best deadly sin.
Yep. Let's actually see if we can back everybody up and make sure we have. Oh. Yeah, let's try and find that trophy. Make sure we have the trophy for Eric. We should be okay. We're about to get teleported here, though. Where is Sloth? Sloth, where are you?
Bacon bits is my favorite sin.
Oh, there's Sloth. Okay, yep, Sloth has the... Look for Sloth when we get out. He has everything you want, Eric.
Okay.
As we slowly dislodge the pile.
Yeah. Orgy untangled.
Yeah. No, there was no orgy. Like, everybody's married and no swingers.
Ah, come on. Ah.
Okay, at least as far as I know, but I'm barely... Okay. Good,
Yikes.
good. Gonna be leaving here with a lot of kite, which is good.
Not bad. Not a bad thing.
Nope.
Hello.
How's it going, Brady?
Pretty good. How are you?
We're all right. We just did a practice run on a boss, and things went really well.
I just seen your message just now. That was...
Oh, you're fine.
And heck yeah, how long?
Absolutely. Oh, we have a couple Rexes down in the gully now.
Oh no.
It's all right. Feeling alright.
Did
Oh,
you see
I
that they
did.
had that lawn mowing dino DLC?
Oh, you lucky bastard. I wish.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Or something.
What do I need?
It's definitely something to keep on my radar.
You can just go mow Jurassic Park.
That's a
Can you
mod
imagine
that
that?
Jurassic Park Evolution needs that mod.
It's like flashback to my childhood and my father mowing me at Jurassic Park in the yard. Just mowed roadways through the like 1.5 foot tall grass.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I wonder how many ticks were in there.
I mean, did you get them, or do you mean just ticks that died? Because death to all ticks, man.
Oh yeah, no, fuck ticks.
Me and Tony, when we were little in the Osseo campground, we were playing in the woods. We had to go to the hospital to get ticks dug out of our backs.
Holy shit.
Yeah, fuck that. Was I working on anything with my points? I really don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know why you suddenly are just upping the parasites.
I'll just put it in weight. Fuck it.
In a weight on what?
My character stats.
Oh, gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I finally got my 200 crafting skill, so my 100th level. I guess I have more because I have 3 levels on my my Chibi Baryonyx.
Oh yeah, I have to launch that from Steam. I forgot.
Well, you might be okay now that you have the server.
It didn't pop up just now.
Oh shit, so it's still doing that. Weird.
Yeah, I might only be able to log in when someone else is online.
Oh, somebody made it sit. Oh yeah. There we go. You can make the sloth sit down, but for the record. I don't remember if it does anything, but it's cute, I guess, so.
Sometimes that's enough.
Yeah.
Hey, these are all trained, these are born and bred natural killers now. And they have proven themselves on the battlefield. I don't know if this fully means that they can do it solo, or I just go in there with either a Yudi or the Daedon and 19 sloths. But that's my goal. My goal is to go in there by myself when I'm on and have some artifacts laying around.
Right. Froggy.
Good froggy? I'm always down for a good frog.
Nope, 35.
Shit, frog. Seen some huge fucking bullfrogs up there when I was in Hayward. Like that, I'm glad that hasn't changed. As I'm walking back from the bar at one point, there's kids running by me with just a massive fucking bullfrog in hands.
As long
like
as
that
they don't
was
hurt it.
I don't know what they were doing with it. There was that concern briefly, but like I always caught them for observational reasons. I'd put them in the bottom of 5-gallon buckets, or I eventually started getting full on like those little plastic mobile terrariums.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put frogs, baby turtles, any kind of tiny fish that I could catch, and I'd just keep them in there for the weekend, observe them, feed them what I could. It was cool because a lot of the times when you catch the little fish, because you had just caught them, and because they were in, a very obviously transparent and having predatory eyes on them in the container, they wouldn't really eat for the first hour or two until they got used to their new situation. Like no matter if you put, worms or even fish food sometimes or anything like that, they wouldn't eat that. They weren't into it. They were too nervous. But by, within a couple hours the next day, they would you could feed them and you could see what they'd eat. However, one time I had a terrarium that had like a couple little crayfish in it already and a few other fish, and I caught a rock bass, which probably doesn't mean much of anything to you guys, but it's another type of small panfish that's not really much for eating. They kind of taste terrible for whatever reason. But I dropped that rock bass in that tank. It didn't take more than 10 seconds, and it was at the bottom of the tank and ate all the goddamn crayfish I had in there.
Wow.
Like, I'd never seen it. Blew my goddamn mind. Like, that thing was so aggro. I'd never seen that before in my observational time with those fish. Like, I'd never seen something that was just immediate, like, oh, we're eating? Cool, we're eating.
He was hungry.
He's like, oh, like, you guys invited me to a buffet. I like this. Catch me more often.
Yeah, my parents' house has tree frogs on the windows all the time, which is always fun.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things. When I've gone and puppy sat out at my sister's out in the country outside of town here, I always hope that tree frogs start showing up, but I haven't had much luck. Like, I'll intentionally leave a couple lights on so they attract the bugs that bring the frogs in.
Mm-hmm.
I have a picture of a really cute tree frog from Florida. I can send it to you.
Nice.
35
Yeah, well,
cats.
Interesting. Yeah, I should really kill that to get a better one to spawn. To try to, I mean. But killing cats is kind of tricky. Because they're so flighty and they have a lot of HP.
Go.
I mean, it's not hard, it's just kind of like a pain in the ass to do. Oh, have you managed to get on, Brady?
Oh yeah, I'm on.
Sweet.
I gotta eat flashing red.
Yeah, food or water. One of the two. Careful with that. Well, one of our X's got about half health, so we know who was tanking that round.
We know who's doing a terrible job at healing.
Ooh.
Well,
Damn.
if you... I mean... I want to be more... Oh. Oh, okay.
What happened?
Comp, you got him. And you were low on health, it sounded like, anyway, so...
Yeah, I was flashing as soon as and that's
Oh, okay.
the first thing I seen. I couldn't see any other compies nearby.
Yeah,
And then
normally
they
they're...
just appear.
Yep. Just like in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Yeah, you should have... I'm pretty sure I put a bed down there for you. That even...
By the way.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, that's why it's... The game is definitely... I would say easier, but early on having a bed down as soon as possible is massive, because keep spawning there, have a base of operations, not hope you end up back by where you were, because you can pick the same spawn point over and over and you're not going to show up in the exact same spot every time. Did you find your trophy, Eric?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. And then there should have been some elements on them. You can just throw that in the precious vault at back home in the factory hub, the breeding pit. Sorry, as Jesse has come to call it.
You put points into anything in particular in the UD?
I'd say definitely. Definitely go with health. Health and maybe a little bit of stamina here and there. But majority health. Like, the biggest thing for UDs is survivability. Yeah, no, you got the right idea. It's all good.
This guy's doing shit to me. Eagle versus Raptor. Raptor versus Raptor, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Although, isn't that one of the the debates of like some of those birds like ours and stuff. If they were they carrion feeders, or I mean, is a vulture technically a raptor?
Good point.
Because I would assume no, because raptor means bird of prey.
Ooh.
I know that was an obvious thing to say for most all company
shit,
included here, but I had an opportunity to quote Grant, and I'm gonna take it.
171% journeyman pike.
Garbage.
Do you know Maya Higa?
Prentice hide hat.
I
Journeyman cloth
do
shirt.
not that I know of.
Journeyman hide
She's a
gloves.
falconry, and she has this thing, Alveus it's called or whatever, that she helps a lot of birds of prey down in Texas.
Huh.
She's really cool. I'm gonna link you to her because she's really entertaining too. She raised $1 million during a Twitch stream to help start this thing, and the last goal for the $1 million was to cut all her hair off her head. And well, she did that a while ago. I don't know. I really like her. She used to
Gotcha.
date Ms. Kiff, but they broke up.
Who?
Ms. Kiff. He's just another dorky streamer. He's really popular.
Motherfucker.
I-
There he's, let me go.
The only streams I watch are my friends. I
Oh,
don't. I don't end up, and that's usually just to see what they're up to. But I also have not a strict policy, but I don't like to. I'm not one of those people who put streams on in the background while I'm doing stuff because I'd rather pay attention to the stream.
For
And
sure,
if
I
I'm
get
doing
that.
something, I'm not giving it my full attention, so it feels a little disingenuous in ways. So
I linked you her anyway.
all right, no, I'll check it out. Like if she's got some VODs on there, I'll throw VODs on. Like if I'm putzing around. But if I'm in game, then I usually.
God damn. That's like the best alpha kill I ever had, though. 4 purples and a blue drop.
Nice. Where'd you find that?
Just a freaking alpha raptor over near the coastline. I accidentally flew the wrong direction. I was just like, oh, I guess I'll see if I can solo this with the eagle.
Oh, eagles are probably one of the best alpha soloers if you're patient, honestly.
Yeah, because you just dive bomb
You're,
them.
yeah, you're safe. You just get in there, get kind of above them, get outside their hitbox.
No, I just went in there, hit it a bunch of times, flew up, checked my health, realized I was going to fucking win, so it's like
Yep.
go ham on it.
That's where you use that the air brake X button. Is you get up above there where they can't get you, but you can get them, and just hold X. So when they do occasionally hit you, it doesn't knock you back.
I see. I see the application here. Understand.
Yep. Well, I mean, air brake has lots of good uses in this game, to be as far as I'm
What
concerned.
is this? I'm just finding all this shit today too. It's just a nice little ruin here. Damn, giving us Argent all the levels today too.
Oh yeah. Well, alpha kill is a lot of experience for any tame.
I think this thing just got 5 levels between that, some lore drops, and then killing the other boss. Carno, level 20. Boo.
Boo or ooh?
Boo.
Boo, okay. I thought he was saying boo earns. It's the same level 10. Somebody can clear that thing out. Like, we don't really have to save it for anything these
Level 20.
days.
Can you
That's
have campfires in your hut, or will that burn it down?
No, you're fine. It doesn't work like Valheim, thankfully. Although I'm not holding out for that not being a thing in ARK 2. I wouldn't be shocked if some Valheim things show up in this game, considering like they've said it's going to be unmodded. It'll be third person, which bums me the hell out, but whatever. I get it for 2 reasons. One of them is you're pretty much always in third person on your tames, so then it won't be the camera shift quite as drastically when you're moving to tames and off, I get that. It'll make ranged combat fucking a bitch, though, that's for sure.
It really depends. I mean, third-person range can be fine if the third person's like good and all.
Well, yeah, but I'm not expecting Fortnite
Well,
levels of
designed
quality. Yeah. Yeah, and this one I think definitely wasn't designed for third-person range combat. That's why shooting in that mode is a little sketchy.
What are you guys all dogpiling? Oh, you're dogpiling a Rex.
Oh.
As long as it's just a regular Rex, they should be fine.
Oh yeah, no, it's dead. It's already dead.
The only bummer there is like, I wonder over the time of having those aggressive things in the what are you calling it? The valley? Eric?
Sure.
That's what I was calling it, yeah.
Okay. If they're in the valley like that, I wonder how many 150s or 140s and ups of things have been killed by our murder squad.
Is it the Great Valley?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
What do you want to know?
It's kind of like an inverse Great Valley because it's full of carnivores.
Oh
God.
yeah. But there are
Valley.
carnivores, so it's okay. Oh yeah, they're wandering aggressive. They're killing any wild animals that fall into their range. Well, actually, I think only unless you have, Jesse, I've only turned 2 Rexes on aggro 1.
I just
The
set
other things
everybody
are
to
still
roam. I haven't set anything else on them other than just roam. So
Okay.
for
Then,
all
yeah,
I know,
only
they're
those-
getting their asses killed because they can't defend themselves.
No, it's only the 2 Rexes are on ignore group whistles and wandering aggressive. So you have to manually make them not angry.
No.
They also won't randomly follow you, but yeah, if you're like flying around for some reason whistle neutral or passive, they will ignore you. They don't give a shit. They listen to one master, the true king of this fucking island.
For kick ass.
Me.
OnlyFans model.
I did have a good chuckle seeing that OnlyFans model got killed.
No.
You're delivering joy with every
Yeah,
death.
exactly. No one cares.
It's pretty much every time Brady's character dies, it's a little begone thought moment.
Just wait till you guys actually see. Garrett's seen it.
Yeah, you should go visit him, or like fast travel to his hut and back quick.
Where's he living?
He's living over by Red Obelisk. So there's
Down by the beach, boy.
Yep. He's the Beach Boys. He's picking up good vibrations.
I'm just cooking some meat.
Well, unfortunately, this episode has gone on long enough.
Yeah, my
So-
story time ran a little long. I'm sorry.
That's fine. We get some little bit extra long episodes. We're only getting 2 for this week since I'm going away. So you still get some extra content in a way
Yep.
on a day-by-day basis. All right. So yeah, we'll probably have like a week with no episodes, and then we'll probably be back after that. I think that works out. I don't know. You'll figure it out. If you don't see episodes on the channel, it's because we don't have episodes on the channel, and if you see episodes on the channel, it's because we have episodes on the channel.